Hello, good morning. My thought for the day is really the number one issue here in the Philippines for anybody coming either for a holiday. It's maybe a little easier to overcome, but certainly if you're going to come here and retire, your number one issue really is yourself. What I mean by that, of course, is how you are as a person in terms of are you fit and well. Because if you have medical problems that obviously need ongoing treatment, you're going to have to consider those before you even consider getting on a plane. Simply because here in the Philippines there are laws that were enacted by the former President Duterte, and that was that hospitals cannot hold you hostage for payment once the treatment has been completed and you're ready to be released. Unfortunately, the word released has a meaning in itself because many hospitals are very, very reluctant to abide by those laws. They will always override them and let, if they have to, the courts sort it out. But in the meantime, of course, the victim of all this is yourself. You are unfortunately sick. They've managed to put you on the road of recovery. And then you find you have to pay, either credit card or in cash. They won't even let you go out to get the cash from your bank. They will allow somebody else to go, but not you. But not too many banks are very easily persuaded to part with the money that they're holding on your behalf. So therefore it's a catch-22 situation. Of course, while you're in hospital, they also will require you, especially a private hospital, they will require you to purchase your drugs from their pharmacy, and no doubt to make the profit that they want to make on the generic drugs as well as the brand name ones. If you're in a public hospital, they will allow you to go and buy the drugs elsewhere so that you have the benefit of being able to buy them at cost price from the store. But back to the point that I was making is that unless you have those funds behind you and easily available, then you're certainly going to find it very difficult getting released from a hospital here. Now, of course, there's many reasons why you could be in a hospital. One could be, the most common, is a motorcycle accident. Of course, the other one is heart conditions and maybe diabetic conditions. And therefore, if you suffer a stroke and you also live in the provinces and you're 2 or 3 hours from a hospital, don't expect to survive. Not really, because how can you get treated urgently if you have a stroke and then you have a relapse, a quieter moment after it, where your body is recuperating naturally, and then you have another more massive stroke, and already they weren't able to send an ambulance to you. It was a 3-hour trip in a car to take you to the nearest hospital. I'm afraid, guys, goodbye Charlie. And therefore it's important that when you choose your place to live, that you position yourself in some an area, even in the provinces, where you may be 20 minutes to half an hour away from a hospital. Now, that would be, I measure it by a jeepney, because jeepneys go slower. I have been in an ambulance here when Jane was injured, and to rush her to hospital, I think it took just over 15 minutes. And that was here from Negillion to San Fernando, about 28 kilometers away. So we were flying, sirens and lights flashing. So she was lucky, but some aren't. If you live up in the hills, maybe a beautiful area, cheaper land, a nicer environment than in a town or a city, then of course you pay the price. So just remember, the number one issue here in the Philippines is your health. If you have doubts about your health, especially in your older years, olden days I was going to say, then give it real serious thought. First of all, coming here to a third world nation where the physical care is very caring and loving towards you as a patient. But you have to remember, a lot of these hospitals are ill-equipped with the technical machinery and gadgets. All the doctors may have a stethoscope around their neck, but they don't necessarily have a, what do they call those special, like a CPR reviver? I'm not quite sure what they call it, but it's one where they go, stand back. So just be aware, they may have one, but it might not be working either. So you just got to toss a coin as to whether you'll survive it or not. They do a lot of praying, but often praying isn't enough. So when you consider coming to the Philippines, the number one issue you must consider is your health and how you're going to maintain it, how you're going to be better off for it. If you're the kind of guy that can't do without his evening beer, his lunchtime beer and his morning beer, he's a recipe for a red flag problem. He's not only going to spend a lot of money shouting people beers, probably to keep a company around him, he's also going to do no good to his health. He's going to end up in one of those hospitals, and unless he has a lot of money, he's going to find himself in dire trouble. So you have to have a healthy lifestyle to look after your healthy body. No steroids at the gym, not a good idea. And anyway, drugs are forbidden here in the country of drug-free Philippines. If you're caught with any kind of illicit drug, that's goodbye from freedom. And you wouldn't wish it on anybody to spend the rest of your life in a jail here in the Philippines. They're not like the movies. So if you like this video, give us a thumbs up. Come on guys, I need those thumbs up. And by the way, I've had 500,000 viewers already. Amazing. Can't believe that 500,000 people have seen this mush on video. So you have a great day, and I'll speak again tomorrow. Bye now.